We live. Welcome back, all you beautiful people, to that We Got Action podcast. This is gonna be episode 32 coming at y'all. And I'm just gonna do a quick something we're gonna start doing now for the YouTube side of things. Just a quick overview of the episodes, just so it's easier for people who are, mainly watching us on YouTube versus, listening to us. So we're gonna be running through NFL episode today. Gonna kind of go through a full playoff bracket run since that's it's upon us, man. I'm excited.
Mhm.
There was a couple things that I know you guys didn't pick, but I picked the Dolphins, and then we all said Green Bay was going to slide in, and that didn't happen. So
That makes
I'm
our
excited
video
to
look
talk
really
about that.
bad. That makes our video look really bad.
For real. Then we're going to talk about Cardinals and Texans. They had big news this week. Kind of go over what's the views that we have on one and done coaches who kind of either had one season and out or didn't even finish the full season. Talk about the Bears, our team, getting the number one overall pick and what they should do with it. And then again, like I talked about, the Packers did not make the playoffs. So what should them and Aaron do? And then we're talking about college football, just a championship game, Georgia steamroll. Maybe there's not too much to talk about, but we'll touch on it.
That's
just
why
because
we tag it at the end.
It was pretty insane, to be honest. It was
unreal, insane, yet nothing to talk about.
Yeah, correct. So let's start with the playoffs, man. I'm freaking hyped.
Same.
I really,
Excited.
really wish the Lions would have made it, but
Same. I mean, yes and no.
Honestly,
would've
though,
been
the
a
way
blast.
the way that they did it, though, it was just they played so
the way
well.
I
and
loved the
just to not make
mentality
it.
that they had
Yeah.
when it was like, if we ain't gonna make it, these motherfuckers ain't
Yeah.
gonna make it either.
Which is
I
what
was
we
like,
were-
yo,
We talked about
That's
last
what I'm
week.
talking
We were
about.
worried about the flexing and making that game meaningless.
Yeah.
And kind of dampening their spirits. They
they
took
didn't give a
that.
shit.
They took and went, fuck it. You guys screwed us over.
We're gonna screw
Yep.
you over.
Yep.
Vice versa. Yep.
That was a good game, though.
So-
I was really
So-
happy for Jamal Williams. So Jamal
Yeah, that
Williams
was-
went back to Green Bay and then ended their playoff chances.
And
So-
he gave a
happy
pretty
for him.
heartfelt speech too at the end.
Yeah.
Too, about
Before
it.
we
And
do
And
get
then
into the
flip the switch and
before we
Go
do
ahead.
we do get into the bracket, you saw that Naruto thing that he did. Village
Yeah.
of the Den.
Oh, bro, that's
Yeah, I
that's
know.
literally his handle and like everything is swag Kazakh.
I
That's my
laughed
boy.
as soon as I heard it. I was like, "What the hell did he just say?" And then I saw it.
just
And
like-
I was
If you don't know,
Yeah.
that shit would go right over your head. I love
Man,
that.
Let's get into it though. Let's get into these playoff matchups. So
We got
uh,
Saturday game one. It's Vitor and the
Mhm.
boys.
mm,
They got the Seahawks at home. Realistically, that's
yeah, I can't.
couldn't have gone any better for you guys.
Yes, I can't lie. Like of the three teams,
I
we
think
could-
that's even
of
easier
the
than
three
Green Bay.
teams we could have faced, this is by far like the most comfortable.
They
for me.
played it. I mean, it's not the fact
only-
that I don't think Seahawks are a good team. I
Yeah.
just think that they just.
I think
it's
throughout
just
the
the
years,
Niners
the
are too much
Niners
on a.
just-
The Niners are just on a roll.
I
right
just
now.
no. I think
And
they play them twice a year.
think-
They know
Yeah.
them. They
Yeah.
usually
Yeah.
steamroll them.
And my thing is, I think the way their issues right now, which is their biggest issue, is their run defense.
Yeah,
Is our biggest one
Your
of our biggest strengths.
strength.
Or like especially with Eli back, I feel like Brock Purdy might throw like 15 passes this game.
I wouldn't be
Like,
surprised.
It's not. I don't expect. I think we're gonna handle them. Like I'm expecting a double-digit win.
Yeah,
Like
I could see
yeah.
10 to 14 for sure being pretty easy. But again, I can also see it's playoffs, so you never really
Yeah.
know. But you
Yeah.
like I've said
Yeah.
all year, you guys are built for playoffs with
Yeah.
that defense.
And not
so,
playing in Seattle is really nice, obviously.
correct.
That too. That
That's
too.
a
So
plus.
the
That's a
next
huge
game,
plus.
also on Saturday, is the night game. Chargers, Jags, and again, Chargers the better record, the better team, but yet Jaguars winning the division, so they're hosting.
Mhm.
So it's in Jacksonville, which makes it interesting.
It's the first primetime playoff game in Jacksonville.
Yes. I don't really think it matters too much aside from I mean, it's still like the weather doesn't change anything really for either team, but
No.
I mean, you're 1,000 miles apart or 2,000 miles really. When you think about it, from LA
yeah.
to
Oh,
all the way to
you're
Jacksonville is like 2,500, almost 3,000 probably.
Yeah.
because it was
Yeah.
around 2K
Yeah.
from here to San Diego. So
That's not, you're probably not gonna get many traveling fans.
Man, I think Jacksonville is gonna win this game.
Do
I
you
really
after
do.
that Tennessee game?
I still
Yo, they
believe
had
that
me pooping myself.
They
I was
did.
scared, bro.
they did, but I still
Wow,
think
man.
Jacksonville is going. I mean, I think they're going for
Defense
the
showed up.
upset. I think they're going for the upset. You know, they're carrying all that momentum, and the fact that they're hosting, I think, is going to be a huge difference.
Okay.
And it just depends on it. Like the defense came to play last week, the offense was but still like Trevor was able to still like keep that team in it and showed up when it mattered the most. I think they're gonna surprise some people. I really do. I wouldn't be surprised.
I like the Chargers right now. I think
we
I
talked-
think the Keenan
Yeah.
and Herbert connection is really coming to life the last few weeks of the season.
But
And Eckler really didn't get
Is-
going the last week in 18 either. So I think he's due for a big
is Mike
game.
Williams playing?
He's questionable
He's
with his
questionable.
back.
He's had it's the back or
They
the
back
foot?
in-
they
injury.
said he could have come back in to the game on
Yeah.
the weekend.
There was just no point though, because they were solidified anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah, no point.
Okay.
So we talked about the Niners being on a roll. The Chargers recently have also been on a roll.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like
Yeah.
that passing game, they're
And
starting to
it's
throw the
their
ball, a lot
defense is
more,
looking better too. Like I
Mhm.
think everything's starting to come together.
which is what we were saying about them in general, just kind of letting Herbert
Yeah.
sling it.
Yeah.
And that was the
seems to
same
be
thing with
working.
Yeah.
that what game you and Isaac were calling it out, see about them being able to pass it more and just letting Justin Herbert do. I think it was like when they played no, it wasn't Detroit.
It was going into week 17.
So 17.
Yeah.
It was but it was at least
was
like three. It was
they
at least like 3
played-
weeks ago.
They
or
played
something
the
like that.
Monday night game that
Yeah.
Derwin James got ejected, and it was that Colts game.
Oh, the
It
Colts.
was a
There you
close,
go.
it was a
Oh,
close
yep.
game, but they pulled it out.
Yeah. Since then, their offense has been kind of. I mean, obviously not like point wise. I mean, granted, yesterday or Sunday was a good at least points game that they scored, but I mean, it's they're on the upswing. So I wouldn't. It's just tough though. I want Jacksonville.
It's going to be tough to go down to Jacksonville.
That's
so
going to be
It
a fun
is.
game to watch.
I think that might be maybe the best game. I do think one we'll get to a little later might be better. How do we feel about? I mean, I think at full strength this would be a hell of a game,
Yeah.
but it's going to be tough on what Miami chooses to do with Tua.
They
But
can't play him.
if Tua doesn't play, which I don't think he will or should, I think this is Buffalo all day. It's in
I don't-
Buffalo.
yeah. I don't think there's
They,
any
uh,
questions asked.
They played the close game earlier on in the season that Miami did pull out,
Hmm.
but Buffalo's been on a tear. They've got the whole
Mhm.
DeMar Hamlin kind of seems to be really juicing them up.
Yes.
The Patriots game was good, but I mean they did prevail. A couple kickoff returns. That's gonna be tough to beat that team, I think, in the playoffs.
A cool
Yeah,
fact,
it's Buffalo.
actually. Cool fact, though. So you know how they had the kickoff return?
Mm-hmm.
So it was the first time in 3 years and 3 months that they had a kickoff return for a touchdown.
And the second one was in the third quarter.
Yes. So that was
Weren't they also
Pretty-
like down 3 or up 3 at the time? There
They
was a lot
scored,
some-
put them up 3.
Yeah. A
Yeah,
lot of
so it was-
threes.
pretty
And then the
pretty
field goal
insane.
put them up 4, but
Yeah, pretty
I thought,
insane.
I thought we were going to talk about how Hines is the first player in NFL history to have 2 punt returns in one game and 2 kick returns in a game.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no
First and
idea what
only.
that one. But I'm going with Buffalo in that one as well. I
Yeah.
don't think there's any there's
Yeah,
any
this-
question with
yeah.
that one at all.
I mean, the Dolphins'
feels what I
defense
feel.
in general isn't there.
Looking good.
So like that's how I felt the whole way is that if they get to the playoffs, they're not here to make.
which
a
I was
serious
the only
run.
one that ran with them for the last month. The
Yeah.
only one that stuck with them.
Technically, I needed them to lose for my team to get in, but it's all right.
Yeah.
And my team did win. Pittsburgh.
Hey,
They
man,
did
yeah.
them. They did them. Mike
Tomlin's-
Tomlin did
Tomlin's
stay over
streak is still
500,
streaking.
16 straight seasons.
Let's go.
shit's
I see you,
crazy.
Mike.
That shit's crazy.
All right, so we're at least
So-
going all going with Buffalo then.
Yep. We're all
Yeah.
riding
Yep.
Buffalo. Circle the
All right.
wagon there.
go.
The next game on that Sunday at 3:30 would be New York and Minnesota. This would be in Minneapolis. Do we have any inklings on that one? I believe they faced off during the season, and I'm pretty sure Minnesota did handle them.
Yeah, Minnesota did win.
Oh,
their
it was a
match
close
for-
game.
Yeah, it was close.
I
in
mean,
the
we're
game
talking
one.
about the Vikings. Of course, it was a close game.
Yeah.
Actually,
It was 27-24,
Minnesota.
and that
had,
was also
Ah.
in Minnesota.
Minnesota had almost the same point scored and allowed as last
Yeah.
year when they were 8-9.
Yes.
Hmm.
So like,
This right here is the game that tells me,
this. Yeah,
are they going to make a run?
I said I was talking to my friend about the playoffs the other day, and I said the Giants can win this game, and I believe
pulling the
that. And
upset?
I think I'm taking the Giants.
Yes,
to
we're
pull the
gonna
upset.
put. Yes, the Giants are gonna put an upset.
Really?
I think they're motivated. Like they're hungry.
What?
Yeah.
They've been proving people wrong all
They're-
season, and they
for
want
me-
to keep it up.
For me, the
I-
Giants are in a similar spot with Miami. I think they're ahead of their timeline right now.
100%.
Mhm.
And I think I'm going Minnesota. I think they're too talented. I think this is the stage right now where Jettas is going to go off this game. And again, the Giants, they have two of the better corners in the game right now, especially when they're playing together. But I don't know, man. This feels like 152 touchdown game.
Vikings to lose this game.
That's my thing. I just feel like.
See, now y'all dipping into cowboy Terry. Now y'all dipping into cowboy Terry.
No, it's just a setup. It's a setup. What are they? Like 10-0 in like these like games under
No,
three?
they're
12
12.
Is it 12?
Yeah, they 12.
12. Yep.
Yeah, but they're like 12-0 in those games. At some point, it's gonna give. And if one of the teams they're playing against that gave them one of these close wins.
So you think it's gonna be this one?
I think it's this one.
What do you think, Dan?
They better hair on their ass. That's what I think.
I'm circle the wagon for our boy Pater. You know, I'm gonna go with Minnesota. I think all of that during the season really primed them for this. Just depends on if they keep their foot on the gas pedal. I think Jettas is gonna go off regardless, but again, I think it all comes down to Kirk Cousins and what happens. I don't even think you got to worry about the defense or anything. I think this game hangs on Kirk. This game hangs on Kirk Cousins, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think if they can kind of rattle him a little, get Thibodeau going out on the outside there. But I think they got enough. They got enough playmakers that really, even if Jettas is getting clamped, I think you could see a KJ Osborne bomb. You can see Thielen underneath kind of killing him. Hawkinson's been a massive weapon down the stretch.
And they got Irv Smith back as well this past week.
Yo, roll Tide.
Irv Smith back.
Yeah, I'm rolling with the Vikings, unfortunately.
I'm going with Giants for that one. I'm gonna go with Giants though.
Whoa! Hey, I've been pretty good when y'all go against me. So
yeah,
low-key, I'm hoping y'all are right though.
Yeah, we'll see what happens though.
So the next game is the coin flip game, which is Baltimore and Cincinnati. When is that happening again? That coin flip, did that already happen? Where's the stadium at? What's that for?
Wait, did the no? That's if the Ravens had won this.
That was the coin flip.
If the Ravens had beat the Bengals this week, they would have had a.
That was the coin flip. Okay.
There will be a coin flip if the Bills and the Chiefs meet in the.
I think there's a coin flip in general for because I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure if it's between the Bengals, Bills, or Chiefs, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought those ones though. If it was between those three teams, they have to do a coin flip. Yeah, they have to do a coin flip for where the site's going to be at. Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's insane.
Because technically, any number of the three of them could have. Finished as the number one seed.
I don't think this game's close though.
No,
I think,
although I guess because Cincinnati and Kansas City
if
couldn't
Cincinnati plays Kansas City, Kansas City hosts.
Yes.
I think if Cincinnati plays Buffalo and Buffalo plays Kansas City,
there it is.
So those are the matchups. They're both Buffalo dependent.
Because there's no way Cincy could have beaten KC since they won.
Yeah,
correct. Okay.
Either way, I'm gonna take the Bengals.
Their confidence right now is sky high. I think Joe Burrow is leading that. The fact that you say like he literally said, my window is my whole career. Like you're going in with that mindset, and we also don't know,
considering his whole career is going to be Pat's whole career.
That's what I'm saying.
That's ballsy as hell.
He's not wrong though. When you have a quarterback who's like that, as long as the team doesn't, as long as he doesn't Aaron Rodgers this team.
What quarterback in history has done that? Tom. You comparing yourself to Tom?
But I think giving them a window,
like Aaron's only got one.
I mean,
they had a window.
Peyton's only got one.
No, Peyton's got
two. About it. You surrounded Joe Burrow.
Peyton made
made three.
What you say?
I think he can do it. He's surrounded with a three-headed monster. He got Chase, a guy he already been playing with since college. That's gonna stay as a tandem for as ever long. Cincinnati want to keep it as a tandem. Mm-hmm. You got T may leave. That's a chance that he might leave. But then you got Tyler Boyd. But I just think with the way Joe Shiesty and his attitude about the game, the way he carry himself about the game, even when he was struggling at the beginning of the season, he always finds a way to pick it back up. Man, Joe Shiesty couldn't go off this Sunday, and we might as well. He put himself in that window because I think he's thinking about being like a Tom Brady.
So what if Lamar plays?
I don't think he's that effective.
It'll be close. I think he's gonna throw it.
What?
Wait, do you mean that generally, or do you mean like coming back
keeping him out of the top?
Just coming back from the injury, you just don't know because at the same time, like again, he may. Yeah,
I'm not saying it'll beat them, but do you think it makes it closer?
It makes it closer.
I say it makes it close.
No, I don't think it makes it close.
I think honestly they win like 10 to 17 points. That's where I'm going with it. I think it's not even close. I don't think it's even close.
Past
I ain't got it like that. I got it like 14 to 10. I ain't got 18.
What, you got a low scoring game?
roughly.
No,
Roughly.
I mean, granted,
rough.
Baltimore's
11, I guess.
defense is top 3 right now in all
Yeah,
major
that's
in
what
all
I'm
major
saying, and
categories,
defense-
especially since Roquan got
Mhm.
re-signed now. Since he came aboard, they're top 2 or 3 in every single statistical category.
which is crazy too,
Um,
because freaking Baltimore usually plays Cincinnati really well, at least on
Yeah.
the defensive side of the ball. They usually struggle to put up points
they
against
did-
Cincinnati,
They
but
did struggle a bit. Like they had a fumble recovery for a
Mhm.
touchdown defensively. Otherwise, they scored 2 touchdowns, which for this offense,
this is also the rubber match. Each
Yeah.
team has won one in the regular season, so this for me
Yeah.
feels more like a toss up. But I just think Cincinnati's been rolling, man.
yeah, I just think they're all around
Roll.
better. I
They
think
have been rolling.
the Ravens receiving core is decimated. And it's not like it was
Yeah,
incredible to
maybe
begin
I
with.
think we could be talking about like it was earlier in the season when they were healthy,
Yeah,
when
Mhm.
Baltimore was at full strength. That was when they actually pulled off that upset. It seems
Yeah.
like an upset at this point now, but
Yeah.
I think I'm riding with Cincy.
same.
All right. Yeah, we're all with Cincy now.
Cincy.
All right.
The Cincy sweep. And then the final game of the wild card round. Kind of the stinker, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Possibly.
Damn, a stinker.
I think so. I
I
think
think
in
it
terms
has
of watching,
potential to be.
I think in terms of watching, it's gonna be one of those like you're kind of sitting there.
I
Like,
feel like it's a
It's gonna be
stinker because
close.
it might be a close game or it might be Cowboys blowing it.
I have a feeling it's gonna be close.
Dude, I think
But
Buccaneers beat them by 3. Tom Brady's gonna get them down to the
I hope so.
30-yard line.
there's
Ryan
nothing-
Suckup is gonna hit it as time expires. I'm already calling it right
There's
now.
nothing more satisfying than the Cowboys
Bucks by
continuously
7.
choking in the playoffs.
Bucks by 7, Bucks by 3.
Bucks by 7. And that's only because Mike McCarthy sucks in the playoffs.
I mean, yeah, he's.
Give
not-
me some.
I think the Buccaneers sneak it out.
Dude, I think so. They just needed to get to the playoffs in my
And again,
opinion. I think
we-
that's
we
what
talk
they
about-
needed to do.
But we talk about teams.
You don't bet against Tom Brady.
The last
Where have
couple,
you seen any functionality in 18 weeks?
Well,
the last
granted,
couple weeks
You
looked a little
don't
better.
bet against Brady. And even
Granted-
when he played like crap to clinch it, you don't bet against Brady.
but you said don't bet
Right.
against Aaron Rodgers last week or yesterday, and or
But
I'll
watch,
be
I said
betting.
don't
I'll
bet
be
against
betting
Brady and he
against Tom
clinched.
Brady. I'll be
You're going
betting
with the
against
Cowboys?
Tom
Don't
Brady. I
do
want
that.
Cowboys by
betting
10.
on Dak at that point, which is
Cowboys by. I'm betting on the defense to show up.
I'm betting on
I'm
mean,
betting
I-
on the Cowboys
I
to
thi-
finally show up.
I'm saying this is going to be a slugfest. Like I think
I
it's going to
got
be one of
Michael
those. Like
Evans,
it's going to be
two
like 13-10, something sad. Like it's not going to be a fun game
Yeah.
to watch.
I'm going Cowboys 10
Cowboys.
minimum.
all right.
I
Yeah.
got Bucks 17-10.
Yeah, I'm a-
17-10.
10 points.
I rode with the goat during the World Cup. and it worked out, so I'll
17-10.
ride with the goat here and see what happens.
Oof, that's tough.
Yeah.
I don't know, boys.
Yeah.
Y'all made some questionable picks, except for Niners and Bills.
That
And
was
Bengals?
the easy one right there, bro. Come on now. Can't bet
I
against Tom
thought
Brady.
about going with the Ravens.
Yeah, you can't
I
bet
did.
against
I
Tom
did
Brady
think
for
about
that.
it. All right.
But,
Ain't bet
Y'all
against
made me
Tom.
sick with that one.
But we'll obviously wait until, we'll see what the outcomes will be. See who was right and who was wrong going into next week. So we won't get ahead of ourselves with who we think because obviously we have some different opinions, needless to say, on what teams may possibly win. So we'll go from there. But next thing we want to get into, so coaching carousel now. Cardinals
Basically,
Cardinals and Texans is the team we're
at
mainly going to
least
talk
in
about.
at least in Houston.
Yeah. First off, we're going to start with the Cardinals. Cliff Kingsbury gone, outie. We were
Crazy.
talking about
Out of
them.
here.
We were talking about them pretty much all season as far as, the struggle, the potential that they do have, but also that it's just not coming together. So they officially let him go. Kyler Murray is going to get input on the next head coach. Me personally, I don't think he shouldn't have anything to do with your next head coach. He hasn't proved to you anything, but I understand you want to make sure it lines up scheme wise. But what do you guys think is next for the Cardinals? I personally believe next year's the tank season. They're not going to have Kyler probably for the majority of the season. So I
Yes.
just don't.
He'll
But
probably miss that.
That's
minimum
that's what I mean by
2
tank
weeks.
season. They're not gonna have him. They're not gonna have him majority of the season. So, what do you guys think is next for him? Do you see them going anywhere anytime soon? And then we'll jump into obviously the dumpster fire of the Houston Texans. So I'll go with you, my brother. What's next for the Cardinals?
What's
Let's see.
next? Man, I don't know what could be next for them, to be real with you. I just think it's issues all over in a sense. Like, Kyler got to get healthy, but even then, Kyler plays a half a season, I feel like. Call of Duty comes out, we never see a good Kyler Murray ever again. I just think I really wish like either they gonna make this rebuild because I want DeAndre Hopkins to get a championship. I just think he deserves one, in my opinion. And not staying in Arizona is not going to get him one.
Mm-hmm.
I wish Kingsbury got fired next year after the tank. So when Kyler comes in, he's able to build chemistry right away with the new coach, then picking someone, helping them pick someone now. And we don't see Kyler until 2 years later. Like,
Exactly.
I just think he's setting himself up for something. So, they just need to blow the whole damn thing up. Get rid of Hollywood. Well, they got to keep Hollywood, but get rid of D-Hop. Either Kyler figure it out to play the whole freaking season for them because he doesn't do it for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but that also could have just been coaching
10-2.
as well. That could also, what
I was going to say he hasn't had another coach.
And Kingsbury's had a career record of half seasons and
dating back to college.
Yeah.
So that's my other thing. He just got to get healthy first, and I think that's where you can start moving. But I just think they should have waited so he can build chemistry with his new coach coming in.
Okay. I respect that. See what you got for me, brother.
I don't like blowing it up. I think their roster is fairly talented when healthy, to be honest. I think they have weapons. When you look up at the receiving corps, is pretty solid. I think that's pretty toe to toe with some of the better ones with D-Hop and Hollywood and Rondale Moore and guys like filling it, Zach Ertz, and then Greg Dortch, and even they go down to other guys down there. James Conner out the backfield. Benjamin proved that he's a pretty solid backup.
He's gone.
Oh, is he really?
Houston claimed him. Yeah, Houston claimed him. Yeah.
I don't know if
we got to talk
I think
about
he played one game and was also cut.
I think he was.
Yes. Yeah.
Now that you say that,
cut.
I'm pretty sure he did get cut again.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn it. Either way, though. But the James Conner, I feel like they signed most of these guys with Hollywood in the offseason. Zach Ertz was last season.
Yeah.
D-Hop, Kyler's got the big contract. I don't know.
They got a good mix.
I'm afraid they might like. This seems to be like a thing where they just in the NFL right now with these like rookie quarterbacks. What if they like grab a quarterback in this draft and he plays pretty well next season? Because like that would be the only position they really are low on. You know what I mean? Would be like Kyler sitting out. But if he plays and I'm just saying it's just to throw something spicy in there.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Like he's setting himself up in a sense. Like I'm gonna pick the coach now. We head into this draft. Like they had pieces they could move to move up and go get it, or even just find somebody that's like really good as a quarterback this draft.
They got the pick. They don't got to move up.
Yeah, so that's my thing. Yeah, that's my thing. So they can take a quarterback, and that quarterback is already young, and you could build with him.
Right, and then what? And then what if he plays good?
Well, then
you save yourself you save yourself hella money at that point.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
You save yourself hella money.
You paid him a lot, and he still hasn't played great.
The thing is, that would
be interesting.
They got a bunch of young pieces on both sides of the ball. Like,
no, I definitely don't think they're as bad as they were. Like this year, they were decimated by injuries. Obviously, Kyler, but I think they've just had didn't start their starting offensive line.
Well, they haven't had. That too, the receivers were gone. It took them forever to when they finally got their full roster together.
They didn't play a single game with their full receiving core. By the time D-Hop came back, Brown was out.
Yep.
Brown came back. Rondale Moore went out.
Yeah, and then
James Conner missed
games.
D-Hop went. Yeah.
So like they've gone through it injury wise. Their defense, I think, could use some work.
That's where I think
they have playmakers.
Yeah,
and we see them like here and there. I think they just need to get a little bit more consistent. Some, getting a couple of studs here and there just to shore up some holes. I think they could use another corner.
Yeah.
Maybe get somebody on that D line to help beef it up. At number 3, you're looking Will Anderson, Jalen Carter going to be there.
Jalen Carter for sure, I think.
Especially that JJ's retired now as well. So JJ's retired.
So, I don't think they're in a bad spot. I think their biggest concern is Kyler Murray. And not only because, like, obviously, if he has focus issues when it comes to playing games and being ready for games, how's he going to attack his rehab, right? Is he going to be committed 110%, put the time in, the effort, and how will it affect his play once he comes back? He's a mobile quarterback. He's definitely
we could be looking at like an RG3 situation.
Yeah, he's definitely better throwing when he is given the space to move and kind of able to cause a little bit of dysfunction. Those 8-step drops in the pocket makes him not even a pocket passer at that point because he's already out of it. But I don't know. I as a 49ers fan, I've watched them more probably than the average person has over the last couple of years. And they're a team that normally gave us a lot of trouble.
Correct.
So like
That was usually the hardest game for you.
Yeah,
guys.
I think this is a down year for them, and obviously next year, gonna be tough. I think they'd be smart to not go for a quarterback in the draft. Just ride Colt McCoy because he can win you some games and
just have like a late pick.
Yeah, I mean you can go for like a late
unless
rounder.
you're irrelevant. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
not to
but
pull the heartstrings.
Yeah, I think it'd be smart for them to, not try too hard next season and just maybe pull a Bears and pull what you guys did last year, right? And kind of just evaluate what you got and the route of things like which young guys are panning out, which guys are struggling, and then try to make moves at that point to put yourself into contending.
You got the 3rd pick this year, get another top 5 pick next year.
Yeah.
With going into Kyler's, find back healthy year.
Yeah, at least try to find a way to retool at that point. Just said, like Isaac said, either Kyler is going to be set up for failure when he comes back, or he's going to be set up for success when he comes back.
And I think next year is going to be huge on what.
And the GM also stepped down as well,
Correct.
so they're going to be.
And wasn't he already away from the team?
They said it was health. They said it was health issues. I think he was just going to get fired regardless. That how they like that thing with Tony La Russa. I don't think anything happened with Tony La Russa health wise. I just think that it was more so we're playing well, just stay away from the team at that point. But obviously, saw that pan out.
It's easy to say an old man's sick, he can't be here.
So y'all leave him alone, all right? Everybody leave the White Sox alone.
I just want to say that real quick. Nothing to dog on.
Leave the White Sox alone.
Just saying.
We're going for 100 next year.
All right, Texans.
We're going for 100 wins next year.
Houston Texans, brother. This looks really stinky.
That might be one of the biggest fumbles I've seen.
I mean, is it though? Like, are the Bears really? I mean, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Massive fumble because now they don't control their own.
I know. We'll get there.
Course.
We'll get there.
And we'll talk about the Bears and what's going to happen there. But not like the reality is, regardless of what route they wanted to go, maybe they weren't even targeting Bryce Young, and they wanted Stroud, so they're okay with not having the first pick. Who knows?
Right.
All I do know is that they now don't control their destiny. So
Bears swap picks with the Cardinals. Cardinals get Bryce.
Cardinals get Bryce. Y'all get number 3 in D-Hop.
And like 3 or 4, and like 3
You're
or 4
going wild.
You're
going
wild.
And
like 3 or 4 other picks. 3 or 4 other picks on top of that.
I can't get
All right,
excited.
we'll get into that when we talk about the Bears, the draft part. But for Houston though, it's unfortunate. Again, Lovey, one and done. I don't know the guy's first name from last year. His last name was Cully. He was a part of that team as well, so they had signed him, but I think it sounds about right. But they let him go after a year. The GM, who came from the Patriots, he's been at the job for 4 years now. He's about to have his 5th head coach. I'm sorry. Because he went from Bill O'Brien to Romeo Crennel to
I just want to
Cully.
say Bill O'Brien is doing big things as the OC of Alabama the last 3 years. Just saying.
Bill O'Brien is a good coach if you give him a roster that's good enough. He can't develop.
And if he doesn't have full roster control.
Yeah, in the NFL, he can't develop the talent and build, but he can take something over and make it work. I think the Texans are in a good spot if they hire properly because they have some young players. They're probably going to trade Cooks and be able to get more picks in.
Yo, free my mans, bro. Free him. Just let him go.
Just said he didn't want to be part of a rebuild.
Just let him go already. Yeah, bro.
They should have a ton of draft capital. And aside from winning that game and not getting the number 1 pick, they're in a solid spot to be able to add a lot of talent and get younger and start building a culture like we've seen Detroit do and the Jets do and the Giants do, and actually take the step to becoming a successful team.
Right.
So I think people are actually understanding that now. That
haven't we been saying this though?
Yeah.
Haven't we been saying
the rebuilding teams need to focus on the culture?
Exactly, brother.
It's true though.
Yeah, build from the ground up. So I think
I got a
I know
question.
a good man who's probably could do that.
No.
I got a question for y'all though. So do you guys think that? Yeah, hey, easy. Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
Stop it.
Do you guys think though? See, I'll start with you on this one here. Do you think that given Lovey, let's say maybe Lovey at least like 2 more years, do you think that there would have been a difference?
No.
I guess you can say more so, let's say in the win column, or at least you would have noticed some sort of cultural change.
I
Do you
don't
believe
think
that Lovey
so,
would have
man. I
provided
mean,
that?
I don't.
I think what he had in Chicago when he was here, he had a lot of generational players, man, that you don't see very often.
Mhm.
So especially on the defensive side of the ball with Lance Briggs and Urlacher and Peanut Tillman and multiple guys on the line as well. It's just I feel like it was different. It was something that was like already a pretty built up roster, and he did make it better, but he wasn't great anywhere else he went, I feel like,
Yeah.
since then. So even his later
That's
years
what
in
I was about to say.
Chicago, like he
Yeah.
hasn't proven anything anywhere he's gone. Even he's gone back down to college and then back up to the NFL, and he failed at both of them. So
Was he the one? He went to Illinois, right?
Illinois
Yep.
for a few
He
years.
needs to play at Illinois.
And now look at
Yeah.
Illinois.
What is okay
Well,
though?
yeah,
No, he
He did
didn't.
terrible.
You know what I
they
mean?
didn't
He
win
did
anything.
bad
But they
with
weren't.
last.
They weren't winning anything
were
before
bad.
either. What last year or 1 year?
They were
They
terrible.
were solid. Not
No.
solid-ish. a
They
couple
were
years ago.
terrible.
V, I don't know what you
No.
were watching, brother.
I don't
but
even know
were
if they got to
awful.
500.
Yeah,
That's why
I
I'm
don't
saying
think
that,
they did.
no.
I feel like he's the
Nope,
type
he
of
did
guy.
not
He's
do
like
well.
he's a DC on a team that's set. And
Correct.
just needs
Yes.
a push to put it together. That's
I think
his goal.
I personally think though he's done in the NFL. I don't think even like any type of coordinator role.
Well, I think it was also
Um,
predetermined that he was fired. I
I
think
think
him and
so,
Davis Mills
dude.
both knew they were out the door,
I
or at
think
least
so.
losing their starting position.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Let's go get this win out of spite."
I think so,
Yeah,
dude.
that's funny.
Honestly, I think Lovey knew it as well in a way because you
They
already
went
were
for
hearing.
two. He definitely knew.
But like you were also hearing reports of already before that game even happened that he was
Yeah.
already meeting with the owner on his, on his status and future of the job. So I think that was also kind of fishy that it came out beforehand. But
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of stinky though, in my opinion. But again, we'll get the next thing we're gonna talk about is our one and done coaches before we get to that. What you think about the Texans and what they should do? Do you think it's more so just go with the highest potential pick since they're gonna be second pick? Kind of move back, try and get some capital because they haven't really made, to my knowledge, received a lot of capital in any type of way.
No, I think the first thing I do is
The
you
Deshaun
need
trade.
stability. Stability and create like we saying, like a culture. I think it's been so much drama surrounded around Houston. It's time to build some type of culture in that organization, in my sense, just to get out of that light. But I think that first starts off with a solid quarterback. But you need a good coach in order to build that solid quarterback. Because then I feel like that dictates which way you want to go. You don't want to do it to Davis Mills. I just think right now you don't have no direction if you don't solidify that spot at quarterback. I just think right now this team is just a lot going on, to be real again. I just think you got to let go of Brandon Cooks and get something. I think that early pick they're going to have this draft, they need to take a quarterback seriously. And I don't think we'll get into it later, but they still got a chance at Bryce Young, in my opinion, just to get who they wanted. So I just think they need a quarterback in the smaller sense.
So I want to throw something out there real quick. So you guys can correct. Bryce Young is a junior, correct?
True junior.
So I was reading that if he believes that he's going to the Texans, everyone is saying that he should go back to Bama for the extra year just so that he doesn't get drafted by them.
The Texans are still going to be there.
Nice.
They're still going to be picking 1 to 3 next year.
Yeah.
So,
but I read that and I was like, okay, if he's a junior, like that would, if you really don't want to go there.
People said the same thing with Trevor Lawrence
Yeah.
and Jacksonville.
Yeah. But I'm just saying
Look
that
how
would have
that's
been
turned out.
that would have been pretty spicy. Like if he knew, like, I'm going to Houston, I'm going back to Bama, I'm gonna win a natty, and then
That'd
get
be
drafted
lit.
by them anyway.
That'd be lit.
if
I'll
Houston
take
had the
one more
number
year
1
of
pick,
Bryce.
I think that would have been much more feasible. I think now,
Yeah, he
I
can
think-
land anywhere.
yeah.
All right. So next
With
thing
that said,
yeah. Next thing we're gonna get into now, one and done coaches. So obviously everybody has their own opinions on that. I'm sure kind of I think ours are gonna be pretty different and the explanations that we do give. What's our views on one and done coaches? Do y'all believe it's truly situational? We can say something in Dan Campbell's case, obviously was terrible. The first year didn't have a great start, starting off 1-6 this year, but finishing 9-8 to finish the season. What's our view on one and done coaches? How do you guys feel about it? What's your views on it?
Pretty bogus.
I think it's case by case.
Mhm.
Like Urban Meyer shouldn't have
Oh,
lasted a full
Jesus
year,
Christ.
right? Like
I still forget. Didn't he start this year still?
no,
No. He was
last
gone.
year.
He didn't even finish last
They
year.
had to let him
No.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
He-
last year he got cut like super early on.
No, he didn't make
No,
it through a full
it
year.
is, yeah, it was like 10 or so games, something like that.
10 still? Oh my
Because
God.
he went to Ohio State for the weekend at a
Yeah,
bar,
and he
and then
got
pictures
caught.
started
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
stuff like that.
girl.
Yeah, with the girl at the
Oh,
bar
God.
sitting on his lap. So
That's the one.
but it's yeah, I'm agreeing with you already. Like it's situational. At least like if you don't have a grip already on the players and trying to establish something, Nathaniel Hackett as well, I think is a
Mhm.
great example.
Yeah.
Seemed from the jump, you saw after 3 games, really didn't have any type of control, and the media was just going crazy with it. But like I feel like in certain cases when you're not set up for success, I think Lovey is a great example of that. The team was already bare bones at that point, and you're not
You're a
even
filler coach.
yes, exactly. Like you're just a bridge to something else. But I think like we said before, that I think he knew he was on the way out after year one already. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to
Mhm.
feel like some coaches suspect that for what
Yeah.
it is, but it's just unfortunate that they don't really get a chance to prove themselves depending on what team that they are actually on at that point.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes it's necessary though
Yeah, it's like
to buy time.
yeah.
Like you were
Well,
saying, what you were about to say with Urban Meyer,
well,
like
and I think with Lovey, right?
Lovey, the
The
same
Texans
thing.
knew that they were going to be picking high this year.
Mhm.
So they were
Mhm.
like, let's just get through the year, see where we end up. And then so they're likely looking at taking a quarterback. They're probably going to want a coach that's more offensive minded,
Of course.
right? That's going to help develop the quarterback that they draft so they can have some success. Right? That's probably their like how along the lines of what they're thinking. So they knew that if we can't really bring in a coach now because we're going to be changing the quarterback next year.
It's
We
not
need to
just
cater.
the quarterback, but
Yeah.
they're going to be cleaning
Yeah.
house at
Yeah.
that point.
But a lot of
Yeah.
teams now are
That's-
starting with a lot of teams now you see are once they get that offensive quarterback or like that dual threat quarterback,
Right.
it seems like everything now is starting at the quarterback position, then working its way out. The Bears are a great example of that. Granted, the defense kept them in some games. Obviously, then it got blown up and whatnot in the second half. But starting to see that now, that seems to be the trend of let's grab a quarterback, then let's get the coach to,
Yeah.
obviously go with that pair and then build everything else, from the ground up at that point.
Yeah, because that tells you what you need, man. I
Yeah.
mean, like if you got a dual threat quarterback, I need a guy that in the backfield that probably need to receive a little bit, or at least can pound the ball like right up the middle for you. I think you need like a little power back to go with a little right, like your dual threat guys, or then you get like an Austin Eckler of the world, like finding those guys to pair with that. Yeah, you got to start with your QB because that shows you which way you can go, which direction you can go, what kind of receivers. Like we need deep receivers for Justin Fields. I need some guys
Yeah.
to go win some one-on-ones. Now I understand that once I got a quarterback.
Yeah, and most
Right.
teams don't need a good enough quarterback, right? It's not common to be able to build a roster where you can plug and play. Yes, you can bring in any odd quarterback and they'll be successful, or at least successful enough. A lot of teams really want to have that guy, right? That's their core for the next 10 to 20 years if they're lucky, and they want to just build around that and continuously move with them going forward and everything revolving around them as need be.
Mhm.
So
It sucks though, in my opinion. At least for certain people, it sucks. But
Yeah.
besides the fact
But I
that
mean,
like
like,
from what
It
we've seen, what we've
sucks,
seen
but I
this
think
year,
it is necessary.
and it's a
Yeah.
business, it's a rewards based or it's a results based business,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like the players get paid based on how they perform.
Mhm.
You know, the coaches similar, but like their leashes are a lot shorter because it's easier to move on from a player or from a coach. You just fire them.
Yep.
Yeah, you're going to be paying them off or whatever.
Mhm.
Like these franchises are worth billions and billions. These owners are worth billions and billions, and they know
Yeah.
that if they find the right guy to pair with their quarterback or to bring,
Yep.
they bring in a quarterback and find the right guy to develop him, whatever it may be, that the money that they will make from the increased revenue of the hype, the jersey sales, fans coming back to games, all that
that's
stuff,
way more than the coach.
it's gonna weigh out the coach payments.
Yeah.
So it's worth it financially and like in the sporting project.
Yeah.
Like,
and a good I mean, I heard this as well that from the 4 coaches that the Texans have had, the 4 coaches, they're paying them a combined $40 million, and none of them are coaching on their staff this year. So goes to show as well. But also, I think it, like, when you talk about it, the fact that a GM, like, when we heard of a GM who has just started 4 years ago, already has gone through 4 coaches and still has a job.
That's freaking nuts, dude.
That's literally insane to me, because you've had 4 years to make your hire, but yet they're losing jobs. But like, the owner, obviously, maybe the owner sees something that, obviously, that we don't know, but still, when have we really seen that in a GM going through 4 coaches in the first 4 years?
I mean, I think we can also, like, if you have to use context, and there is the Deshaun situation that happened in the midst of that. If he doesn't go through all this, they're probably not sitting on their 4th head coach. They're probably sitting on their 2nd, maybe their 3rd. But they have more of a clear direction. I think the last few years, until they were able to last offseason trade Deshaun and all right, now we know what the case is going to be.
Say, just 2 seasons ago, they had JJ Watt, DeAndre Hopkins, Deshaun Watson.
I think it was like
2 and a half.
I think Hop was traded 3 or 4 years ago.
Because Hop was traded. Hop was traded by Bill O'Brien, so it was at least 3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 seasons.
So,
and it wasn't Bill O'Brien's like first big thing that he did there.
Yes.
So it was probably like 4 years ago at this point.
Yeah. It was insane that he still got traded.
That shit's crazy.
Yeah, I still can't.
That means it's been 4 years since David Johnson was RB1 in fantasy.
Yeah. But I mean, that's just our view, and at least, one and done coaches from that standpoint. Obviously, it's something that's truly situational. You got, like, if you don't at least show some type of difference, whether it's in the wins and losses or on the culture, and you completely lose a team, it's over with for them at that point. Nathaniel Hackett, Lovie Smith, great case in point.
And I think that's what this offseason is for the Texans. I really think, like, all, if not most, will be gone. Like, the vets, you're going to see Cooks leave.
Yeah,
I think a lot of any vet pieces that they've got, like, that are filler guys, are going to be looking to leave. And it's just going to be a true fresh start, and that we'll finally start seeing, hopefully,
some blank canvas.
Yeah, some sort of, like, direction, because, like, I think they were caught in the midst of, like, they were a contender at one
like
point.
That, like that middling.
Then they kind of dropped off a little bit, and then Deshaun had his scandal, missed the year, and they were, like, in limbo. Figure out, is he going to come back?
Yep.
What's going to happen? They trade him. Then they're like, all right, we have 3 future firsts. We've got cap space. Now let's
truly do the rebuild.
So, it's what they should be doing. Again, sometimes, these bad teams make bad decisions.
Yeah, exactly.
So
we'll see what happens. The draft is going to be real interesting. So, talking about the draft,
get to my Bears, man.
Come on, let me hear it. See, I just want to hear you say
get to my fucking Bears, man.
The Bears have
the Chicago Bears have secured the #1 overall draft pick. What we do with it, I don't fucking know. What do I want us to do with it? Draft Will Anderson. But I definitely think we can get a fucking haul for it from at least a handful of teams that are looking for quarterbacks. I mean, you look at a few talented rosters. The Raiders kind of scream out to me. That's a pretty talented roster we can get some pieces from. And we know they're looking for a quarterback, although Jarrett Stidham did ball out that last game.
Well, not the last one. The one before that.
What are you talking about?
He played like ass last game.
Yeah, the last game.
Oh, shit, I did forget. Yeah. The
Relax,
one he popped like 35
against us.
Yeah, against the Niners, the OT game.
Yeah, relax
but
there. Relax.
I don't know. I think it'd be nice to draft #1, but I think the best scenario would be getting as much assets as you can squeeze out of a team that's willing to take the #1 pick, but also still be able to draft this year first round.
Yeah. Well, that's what I wanted to ask, because I again, as a non-Bears fan, I'm kind of here I can sit here and look at it more like objectively. Yeah. If I were the Bears, obviously I would want to trade back, right? Yep. We don't need a quarterback. Help get more capital, but how far would you guys be willing to trade back? Would you be willing to get yourselves out of the Will Anderson and Jalen Carter stretch? Yeah. Is it multiple picks in this draft or multiple picks throughout? Or if you're getting like 3 future firsts versus more volume or maybe a player?
This is how I feel about it. V, you said it earlier. If I can't get me somebody who's gonna contribute to this offense next year and a first rounder, I'm not moving for one.
He says so when I said
Or like,
the Hopkins,
it could be
pick,
like a big, it
the
could be a
Hopkins trade
big
thing.
player. Yeah, it could be a player on defense, a player. It has to be an impact player, in my opinion, for you to move forward.
Mhm.
If not, you better take Will Anderson. Shit, if you trade down, don't go too far because you either take Will Anderson again or Jalen Carter. It's two needs you need.
What about like
because
a
I just feel
Quentin
like
Jackson though?
I'll take him.
TCU,
I will
6'5",
take him
220.
too. But even for me, I will either like I need to wait a little bit deeper, like because you could still probably steal Jackson Smith Najiba a little bit.
I didn't even see
Some
him in
guys
like the
you
top
need-
15.
That's what I'm
Because of
saying.
the
You still
injury,
guys
he
like
fell
that.
pretty far.
It
That's
depends
what I'm
on
saying.
what
You
teams
see
are willing
guys
to
like
gamble.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
just think it's not going to be a gamble. It's a guy that ain't played all year, and it was just his hamstring. Like outside of that, ain't nothing really going to be going on. I just think he didn't want to play this year.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be better. I just think surrounding Justin Fields with some guys he's already familiar with, like if I can sneak a Jackson Smith-Njigba out of there, I go grab it. But that one pick, that number one pick, has to be some impact on it. Like it just can't be like we go get assets and then we just wasted it.
But I
need
think
impact player.
But I think as far back as I would go, I would say 3.
Oh,
That's as
Mhm.
far back as I
Like my
would drop.
goal, yeah.
That's as far I would not drop out
Well, so
because
2 and
either
3
way,
likely
I
don't
would
need
say
quarter,
4 or 5.
3 doesn't need quarterback, probably.
And
right?
I think
I
I think one of the 5 was Seattle.
Seattle, yes,
Took
they have
from
they
Denver,
have
and I
Denver.
think they're gonna go either defense or O-line.
And then
You think they stick with
Lions
Geno?
have
Lions will probably go fucking O-line too, to be honest.
That's
Is the
what
NFL free agency is before the draft, right? And the
Yep.
NBA, it's draft then free agency.
I think it is. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it opens up.
So
it's
obviously-
opposite. Yeah.
So I guess we'll know whenever free agency starts if they're re-signing Geno or not. We'll probably have and especially if they do and what kind of contract he gets, we'll have a better idea of what their plan is.
Should be.
Honestly, I mean, I don't for them, like they drafted so well with their defense. Like I think that they're set on defense. Like they're set on defense already because they're going to be on contracts.
Get a line, get a running back.
Yeah, because they're set at wide. They're set at. I mean, but in my opinion, they're set at wide receiver as long as Lockett and DK stay healthy. You got your future running back now that was suspect prior years, but now you have your future running back in
Then you
Kenneth
gonna have
Walker.
Rashad Penny coming back too.
Rashad's
Also,
coming back.
that was his job.
So with that, from what you've gotten from Denver, you're able to just continue filling out the pieces because as long as I think that Geno, again, they surrounded him the right way with this team. Again, there's now like it was a rebuild, but like they surrounded him in the right way. If they do that again, I think they're completely fine because that defense is just going to keep going up.
So they probably draft O-line.
I would say so.
But again, you have
but
to
either way, I just
take
stop back at 3.
But
I would just stop back at 3 though. That's just my opinion.
I think you could afford to go back to 4.
I could go 5. I think
Like,
5.
the Colts are at 4.
That's why I said 3 to 5 in that range.
Yeah, I
Don't
think
pass 5 for me.
Because if we're saying it this way, like we're assuming the Texans are going to take a quarterback. So if you guys trade back, that means 1 and 2 are taking quarterbacks.
Yep.
3 won't take a quarterback, most likely. Arizona is very likely to trade back as well, I think, for another. Yeah, I mean, we'll see when we get there.
3 would be the safest, but you could probably squeeze out 5.
I think
one of the
4.
big boys on defense.
But do you think Will Anderson slides down?
No. I think he's off.
I think you can get
Carter.
Yeah, but I mean, we
saying,
never
so,
know.
So is Will Anderson going to be because so you guys are saying that you think do we think 2 quarterbacks is going to go first?
It all depends on who goes where.
It depends on who gets traded where.
Yeah, it depends on
if
what
the Bears
teams
stay at 1. They're not drafting a fucking quarterback.
Yeah,
no.
And
no, but I'm
like,
talking about if I'm saying like let's say the Bears move down to
but we don't know
who
those won it. We don't know who they trade.
We need to know who won.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so if they move to 4, it's the Colts, right? We're assuming the Colts. Well, we're assuming if they
somebody
trade down,
could trade ahead of Houston to steal Bryce Young, or somebody could just swap with the Bears because they want Will Anderson. You know what I mean? Or they want somebody else.
And that could also happen if you guys trade back to like 5. Maybe another team goes, "Hey, Cardinals,
right,
we really want Will Anderson, and the Bears are going to be in on this type of thing. What can we?
There's a lot of scenarios.
So
I think for the Bears, though, the best scenario is to definitely trade down a little bit.
Yeah, just not.
I think they can get a
player
haul
that can get a player that. It depends from who, though.
The number 1 pick has never been traded in NFL history.
I think though they can get a
haul. Fucking quarterback.
Well, we traded 3 firsts for the 3rd pick. So
yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say is there's also pre-draft movement stuff that you don't always understand. Yeah. Nobody had Walker going in the top like 3, let alone going first overall.
Yeah.
And there he went,
Yeah.
right? So you never know what teams are going to do. Sometimes they might work out a player that they're like, oh, we're looking to trade back in the first round.
Just
And
in
then
general, last
they
year,
get
how many
impressed.
times we sat here pre-draft this year talking about 5, 6, 7 different trades that we thought for sure were going to happen, and not a single fucking one of them happened.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
There was literally no
NBA
trade
draft,
fucking
yeah.
happened.
It was crazy though, but I think the Bears
Both drafts.
they're in a great position too. I think they can get a haul again, and we'll see where they go, what they're really targeting. We won't know until draft night, obviously. But I think they can get a haul and change it and get hella capital and just keep building it up. So
Yeah.
Just remember, Chicago Bears. I already have my Will Anderson jersey in the cart, ready.
I don't think you can go wrong with that one either. Like getting him for oh my god, I don't think you can.
You guys want to hear another trade that I saw today? Because the Bears fans are going crazy on social media.
What?
I saw Colts trade up from 4 or 5, wherever they're at. 4, I believe.
They give a Michael Pittman.
I saw the Pittman one, but I actually saw an older player who doesn't really fit their timeline anymore in DeForest Buckner going to Chicago along with the 4th pick and then a couple like later picks for just the number 1.
I don't like it because at that point I'll just go get Will Anderson.
But they're not the same position.
Yeah, but he's better. He's gonna be better. He's younger.
But I get what
you
that's
literally
if
go
Buckner.
from no
That's if Buckner.
pass
Right,
rush
but
to
that's not saying
elite.
if the Colts don't trade away Buckner and then go grab Will
I'd rather
Anderson,
take
Jalen
Carter.
If there any team trading
Exactly,
up for
that too.
one is trading for a quarterback. No team that trades up. To
I
number
think
one
if we're
is gonna
not
be
trading
taking
for an
anywhere else.
offensive weapon, I wouldn't really trade for.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I'm
think-
saying. If
I
they ain't
think
talking
what's-
Pittman, don't talk to me.
Right.
I don't even
think
want Pitt.
Forrest-
I don't
think
even want
Buckner's
Pittman.
a way more valuable player than Pittman. But I understand from your position wanting to give Fields a number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah,
I think if you're just the two guys next to each other, I think Buckner is way more impactful.
yeah, I agree with you on that one too. I don't think Pittman is. I mean, Pittman's a number 1, but he's not like a D Hop type of in no way, shape, or form. But so last week we made a video. I posted it. All right, we all were right. We all were riding Packers. All right, that obviously did not age well. So they
Luckily,
did not
it
make.
didn't.
Yeah, they did not make the playoffs.
I'm happy about it, but I'm pissed that the Lions didn't get it.
Yes. So now we're gonna go through another offseason of what the hell is gonna happen with Aaron Rodgers.
Blow it up.
If you are the Packers, do you move on? Do you stay the course? If you're Aaron Rodgers, do you retire? I start with you on this one.
Blow it up. Blow it all up. God damn it. Just get a ball to Jordan Love. Jordan Love, okay. Aaron Rodgers suck now, I believe. And he been hit at retiring, man. Heading into the last game, my man's like, it's been some really good memories in Lambeau. Yeah, he on his way out the door.
He was doing some
got
shit
his
like that
Walker.
last season. Though.
Yeah, well, he also, but he was close. I think.
Yeah, it's
last
way
season
too early for
retiring, or at least requesting a trade, or whatever the hell.
I think a trade would
He
be
came
sick,
back.
bro.
I just don't think he want to play for anybody else. That's my opinion. But
I don't think he cares.
I just think
I don't
Bro,
think he's the type of guy to care.
Put him on like fucking the team that actually has some weapons.
Denver?
Hey, watch this. I'll put
Denver.
money. If he doesn't play for Green Bay next year, Aaron Rodgers is going to Las Vegas.
I said that to my friend. I when I was on the same day I was talking about the matchup.
And then,
That's
Tampa
wild.
Tom went to Florida. Aaron's going to Cali. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Cali, Las Vegas.
Oh, that's
goofball.
right. Damn it.
I mean, it's pretty close.
Reno. You got Reno there. You got Vegas there. You got
That's it.
Yo, that's
close
so
trip to
much
Mexico.
and that matches up
That's
though
tag.
money wise. Like
Trip to Mexico.
that matches up money wise too. Like I wouldn't.
I
see
think that would be terrible.
I'll do
for
a
both
nice
teams.
Derek Carr. Why?
I think it would.
Because
too.
I don't
Why
think
would he
I think
do
the
it?
Raiders.
Don't even talk about Derek Carr.
I think the Raiders are too far away from contending with the rest of the team. Yes, I think Aaron
100%.
Rodgers and
Time out.
Devontae make you good.
put money. Time out. Time out. I'm gonna stop you right there.
Yeah.
If I get Aaron Rodgers with a Devontae Adams and a Hunter Renfro, I'll put my money with them at any point.
Well,
Why?
it's great.
The
They can score a
unspoken
lot.
That's cool. The defense will figure itself out like always.
No, it's
But
terrible.
when I got a
This ain't
When
like
I got the
Kansas City
lead
This,
defense,
rushing
yeah,
brother.
this
No, when
this
I get the
Oakland
leading
defense would
ru-
make
no,
the
when you
worst
get the-
Packers defense Aaron has seen look like a Super Bowl winning
We
defense.
could do some
Yeah,
damage
They
in
but
are
the
he still
draft.
made
We
he
could
still
do that
made
in
how
the
many
draft.
NFC championships with just him and
Bro,
Devontae?
I'm just saying. And then you adding a real second receiver to him that he been asking for
Darren
since I don't know
Waller?
how long. And then he gets the leading receiver, the leading rusher in the NFL this season, and Josh Jacobs. Like what are we doing?
That's if he
Let Aaron
stays.
Rodgers.
That's if he
That's
stays.
if
my
he goes to
brother.
Vegas, though. That's if he go to Vegas. You're right. But I think a Derek Carr for Aaron Rodgers flip would be great. Let Derek
Joe,
Carr
that'd
and
be
Jordan Love
A
go
flip.
run
that'd be
Green Bay.
wild.
Yeah,
But
flip it.
that'd be
Run Green Bay into the
wild.
ground, baby. I'll have Justin against Carr all day.
Nobody wants
take
Derek
that.
Carr, dude.
The Colts are gonna. If the Colts don't trade up for a
Stop it.
quarterback, they seem like the team that would
Bro,
go for
imagine
Derek
going
Carr.
from
Trade
Phillip
for
Rivers
Derek
to
Carr,
Carson
yeah.
Wentz to Matt Ryan to
that.
Derek
I'm
Carr.
sorry,
Man,
you
He
for, you
fits
for,
their
I'm sorry, you,
profile.
I'm sorry, you forgot about Phillip Rivers as well.
I
That
said-
year
He
I
before.
started with
Phil.
Rivers.
Oh,
I
yeah.
started with no pull out
Don't-
BP.
Don't forget Nick Foles though.
Nick
They had
Foles,
Nick Foles.
Jacoby Brissett.
Hey, timeout. Nick Foles hopped into that game against the Chargers and was slinging straight up NOs. I'm not trying to talk to nothing
he's-
Nick Foles do anymore.
He's
terrible.
done for.
He,
though.
he's
terrible.
done. He was slinging them straight
He's been
up.
good for 2 years of his career.
Interception.
Hey, they were the
I'm like,
best
bro,
two.
yo,
They're the best 2 years that he could have been good, though, man.
Yeah,
They were the
two-
best 2 years.
No.
I mean, I'm in the same boat though. I think I don't even know. Aaron's just playing games.
He was being cryptic as hell after the game.
Yes, bro, and take the way the walk back with Randall Cobb just made it look so much again the same thing as fucking last year. I think though the Packers need to
that's
move
just
on. I think they do.
You know what's even more funny? I just brought even another idea here. Randall Cobb gonna go to the Raiders too. It's gonna be everybody going to the Raiders.
I
Bruh,
mean,
I'm just saying, I like it. Vegas up. I even go to Vegas for a couple games, Aaron Rodgers.
Maybe
So
they
gonna
go
be
back
that
to
good.
Oakland.
shit.
Oh,
That's a
apparently
pipe
Mark
dream.
Davis is upset that their games are mostly away fans.
Oh,
And everyone's like,
Jesus.
well, why do you left your second home? It became your first home because they were the LA Raiders back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
They moved to Oakland. Oakland embraced them fully. Very similar styles.
Man, he ain't mad. He's still pocketing however many billions of dollars a year. Man, I don't even want to hear it. It's the same thing with the Chargers. Same
Yeah,
shit with the
they're done.
Chargers being at SoFi. Y'all move from away from San Diego to get to LA. I understand. But look at it. Half of your games are the other team's fans. When the 49ers show up or whatever, when the 49ers play the
Jesus
Rams,
Christ.
you're literally playing at Levi. You know what I mean? It's what it is.
We did that to a couple stadiums. We did that in
Yeah.
Mexico too.
Hell yeah, you guys did. But at SoFi, it's the worst.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
literally the worst at SoFi because literally 75% of the fans are from San Francisco.
Yeah.
What do you expect? Oh, but you
Yeah.
know what? I'm gonna pocket this little $5 billion, this $10 billion.
I'll pocket anything in that number range.
Yeah, if you say anything with million, there's not much I'll say no to. I can't lie.
Shit, give me some with
I don't know if I
thousands.
like
I'll be
where this
okay.
is going.
All right, no.
It's getting random. We're gonna post this clip and there's gonna be random comments be like, I can give you guys millions of dollars.
Yeah.
We'll be like,
I don't like where this is going.
But before we go
Hey,
on,
help me
real
pay
quick,
for
though,
school then.
yeah, there you go. Before we move on though, so V, what do you think the Packers should move on or
if
stay the
I'm-
course or Aaron retires? Which
from the
one?
Packers franchise standpoint, I think moving on from Aaron's probably the best thing to
Okay.
do. He's just owed so much money, and you can start preparing for the future and still probably be competitive. I don't know. It depends on if they decide to stick with Love or bring in another quarterback, bridge quarterback, or a
They
Derek
won't
Carr
do that.
type.
I
But
don't think
regardless,
they do
I think it's just better long term than committing $40+ million to Aaron Rodgers just to not make the playoffs every year and not be able to actually build up a team. And from Aaron Rodgers' standpoint, who the fuck knows what he's doing?
If you
I
had
don't
to,
think
if you had
he
to
even
guess,
knows yet.
if you had to guess, so do you think he retires or is he
I
still?
think-
At least I don't. I
Well,
want to say retires or at least still plays. We'll go with that.
I think it's more likely that he leaves Green Bay than he does retire.
Okay.
I don't think he's a sentimental person like that.
Fuck
And I
yeah.
don't think he's the type that's gonna be like, oh, I can't not be a Packer. Right? I
Yeah.
don't see that from him.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
I think it's most likely that he ends up leaving the Packers and plays another year.
I
or two.
hope he does. That'd be sick.
See what
I
you
just like
got.
to
Do you
see.
think Packers stay the course, blow it up, and what do you think Aaron is going to do? Either play or retire? Which one?
I think they should get rid of Aaron Rodgers, start Jordan Love. I don't think the rest of the team's that bad. They were banged up for most of the season, missing at least Aaron's favorite weapons for most of the season, or at least we're in and out.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think you start Jordan Love, you see what you got from there. Aaron, I really hope he goes to a different team. I hate the motherfucker, but he's still a bad
Colts?
man, dude. He's still a
He still
bad
got the
man.
juice. He still
He's
got the
still a
juice.
bad man. So
He still
I
got the
think it'd be
juice.
cool to see if he can kind of do what Tom did and take a team to a deep playoff run, a different team to a deep playoff run.
Isaac, you're on the Vegas train. You think that Aaron Rodgers is going to play?
That would be sick.
I think he should go to Vegas after coming up with the idea, just like today. But you know, I still think the Packers need to let it go, let it go. Shit, Aaron Rodgers too. I was seeing some of them sacks this year. Took about 10 days to get up off that damn field. You let it go. If you ain't got a good line, I'll be honest, let it go, baby. You ain't got it, A-Rod.
I'm in the same boat. I think go to a different team, but I think still play. I think he still got the juice left. I just think that he needs to find some clarity in what the hell he really wants to do at this point. So, but that finishes the NFL portion of episode 32 for us here. So I'm gonna hand it over to my college boys here.
This was going to be quick.
Football playoff. Yeah, I don't think there's besides maybe the second point. I think maybe it'll be a little bit of a thing. But let's see. Give us a recap of the championship game or lack thereof. A recap.
Georgia won
by a lot.
By a lot.
Period.
58 points. They're the best team in college football. All right.
Period.
So, should Georgia be favored next year? And has Georgia officially surpassed Bama? I'll start. They should be favored. They have got to the same part that Bama's at. They haven't passed us yet.
Yeah,
now, if they win the third, then they can't, because Bama has already won a repeat already.
Yeah, I think Bama's been up
it's
there
also the longevity
for for a longer.
But Kirby Smart has turned that program around and gotten recruits and is now pushing out very, very top quality NFL talent for a while now. So, but it's the longevity
last year alone.
The longevity for me is what keeps Alabama slightly ahead of them. But I do think it's like Alabama is the top tier. Georgia's now, in my opinion, their own tier below that. And then you look at the Ohio States, the Michigans, the Clemsons, the TCUs now, the USCs. That's when you get into those other.
Oh, you're throwing TCU in there. Whoa.
I mean, they've had other years. They've had other years where they were competitive.
Yeah. What do we have and Clemson have that TCU don't have?
Coach.
A national championship, baby.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna go with a coach. A coach too. Throw that in there.
What you think? What do you think, bro? Do you think Georgia should be favored next year, and do you think that Georgia has officially surpassed Bama, or are you not there yet as well?
I'm never damn well gonna say anybody gonna be out favoring my Buckeyes heading into the following season. So we just might as well just let that go already. So I got Buckeyes next year again. I don't care who's on the roster. Okay, I'm in the shoot. Okay, we in Columbus. That's all you need to know.
Hey, if Marvin Harrison's on the field, I can't deny that.
I'm in Columbus, like I said. So then, if you look at this, I'm just with CO now. I just think they just below Alabama. It's just when you look at that makeup, I think the back-to-back titles is cool. Now, if they get a three-peat next year, I think they damn near surpass Alabama in a sense.
That'd be crazy.
Nobody three-peat, and I never seen a college football team three-peat. So I think he will surpass, but I just think that resume are dominating. Like when you look at the recent history of the college football playoff, it's been damn near one team name in this championship outside of Georgia, and it's Alabama damn near with everybody. So even that's impressive in its own sense. And then even when it goes to 12, I just think still going to be impressive. You're still going to see a Big Ten team or an SEC team in that final. That's all I can say.
I'm in the same boat. Roll Tide. I'm not going to say I would say Georgia should be favored next year, but it's going to be very close, I think, because Bama does have the number one recruiting class going into next year.
Bama's projected starting the season 5.
Georgia
Georgia is 1 preseason.
Yeah, I mean,
preseason.
two.
like
Yeah.
fresh
Yeah,
after
yeah.
the game.
Yeah.
Two.
Damn, I can't remember. I think it was Michigan was 2.
I think
Just
you
got
died
sick.
inside a little bit.
Ohio State.
say-
I just got
Ohio
sick.
State's in the top 4.
USC got to be up there too.
I just
no?
got sick.
USC was 6 or
Hell
7.
no, they're like 6 or 7, man.
Oh,
Get
okay.
Caleb Williams and I'm out of here. He out here calling out guys. That's why he ain't make it.
I'm just saying, man. But I think I don't think I'm the same boat. I'm agree with you guys. I don't think Georgia is or has surpassed them just yet. But I think next year will tell you a lot, especially if how the regular season matchup goes. Again, if they do meet in the SEC championship and even in the playoff as well. But Georgia does have a cakewalk of a schedule next year.
Don't forget it.
What?
Don't forget it.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. So they do have a cakewalk of a schedule next year. So wouldn't be surprised to me. Again, if they end up beating Bama and then meeting Bama down the road, Georgia will probably be number 1. But they don't surpass them, in my opinion. Nick Saban's been dominating it for so long. He's still, and the thing was, he still has all of these recruits and classes coming in of top tier talent. It's not like his classes have dipped at any single point that he's really been there.
Quarterback should be fun next year.
Because nobody knows. I think Bryce
Yeah.
should just come back. I think he just should just come back.
Get your bag, boy.
He already got a bag,
Get the
NIL. He
bag.
in the bag.
Yeah, but get another
not
bag.
a college bag.
No,
not
go
an
get a
NFL
real bag.
Oh, he want a
Go
real
get a, yeah,
bag.
go get a Gucci.
Okay,
get a
that's what I
Louis.
figured you was gonna say. All right, but V, what you got for me before we finish at least this part?
I mean,
this was
yeah.
this is pretty self-explanatory.
I think, yeah, barring a ridiculous amount of roster turnover, they're the favorites.
Uh-huh.
I think that's the biggest issue you have with college and why you don't see too many teams repeating, or you haven't seen a three-peat, is because, right, you got a lot of turnover, guys graduate, guys
Buckeyes.
in the draft. But they're probably the favorites right now. As for overtaking Bama, no. It's like Bama's been like the Warriors or like LeBron. Like every year they don't make the finals. It's not like it's they're done. It's like,
Yeah.
they'll be back next year. They just got to figure they got to figure this thing out, or just get healthy and they'll be back next year. So you can't let 2 years overturn
Whoa.
a decade-ish of dominance.
He made the final and won the SEC last year.
No, but I'm saying it's 2 years of history that people are starting to put over a decade, 15 years ish of dominance.
Respect.
All right. Before we finish it out, though, I want to give, even again, we're long time away from this now, but I want to give an early prediction. So obviously the 12-team playoff takes effect after next season. Let's do conference or conference wise. Top 4 teams, whether you say that's 2 SEC, 1 Big 10, 1 Pac-12. What are your 4 teams from those specific conferences? How many are you choosing?
You're gonna
from
make
which
them
one?
throw up. You said Pac-12 and they're losing.
I was just saying. So
I think you
I'll
meant
go.
Big 12. Go ahead.
I'll go first. I'm gonna say there's gonna be 2 SEC. There's gonna be 1 Big 10, and I think a Pac-12 is gonna make it into the
So you
Pac-12. Who? You going
USC.
USC finally?
yes.
But Caleb
They going
Williams
to the Big
send off
Ten, though.
here?
Not next year.
Not next year.
Not
It's
this.
till
Not this coming year.
25, I think.
Yeah, 25 it is. Yeah.
Okay.
So next year I got 2 SEC, 1 Big 10, and then I got Pac-12. Rounding out top.
I'm going a big claim here.
No.
I'm going 2 SEC
Four SEC. Oh,
and I'm going 2 Big 10.
So
Ooh,
just
okay.
swap TCU for Bama from this year's.
I'm going 2 SEC and 2 Big 10.
Okay.
I got 2 SECs, 1 Big 10, 1 ACC in Clemson.
Ooh. Okay.
We'll
You
see.
tell me. What you
I
got
can't
for
forget
me?
about Dabo.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, I can too.
Vitor, what you got?
Sorry.
I agree with the 2 SEC. It's the question of is it 1 or 2 for the Big 10.
Big 10.
I think if Harbaugh stays, it's 2. I think if he leaves, we're looking at 1.
I think I want a 2 and 2 because I want a Bama, Georgia, I want Ohio State, Michigan, and I want the 2 losers to make it in.
So you kind of want like a Western Conference, Eastern Conference
That's
finals.
what I was
for-
saying. And then have the
AFC,
losers
NFC.
play each other, the winners play the losers. That'd be
Okay.
fucking sick. That'd be sick.
Okay. All right.
So,
I just thought-
Unfortunately, it won't probably work out that way, but
yeah.
I mean,
I thought that was
that's
just
me wishing.
I just thought that was a little spicy to ask, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to ask and see what our opinions on it. We'll probably come back to this one, in about 9 months or so, about 8 months, and see.
Can't wait, baby.
See when
Roll
it starts,
Tide.
little baby.
But that finishes it off for us for episode 32. Roll Tide as always, ride or
We
die.
big Buckeyes.
Bad boys for life. But thank y'all for coming and enjoying episode 32 for our NFL and our college portion. Again, check it out on our YouTube, on our Instagram. Our videos have been popping. So keep supporting those. We really appreciate it. Feel free to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribing is completely free. What you got to say real quick?
Big Dick Bryce. That's all I
Hey,
got.
Come on,
That's
man.
my-
We're a PG rated show here.
Sorry.
Cock Brock.
My birthday was on
first.
Monday, y'all.
Yeah,
so I
happy
better
belated-
get
Oh
a
yeah, happy
birthday.
belated. I did.
Was it really?
yeah,
Anybody
happy
told me
be-
that?
Happy belated birthday. I posted it on the page, bro. Oh, you don't go on your phone like that. That's why. But happy belated birthday also. Our sharpshooting Ohio State fan here, co-host Isaac as well. January 9th was his birthday. So happy belated birthday to our boy here. But again, like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, completely free. Gives you guys full episodes of our interaction here, so you guys see everything instead of just listening to it through Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anything like that. So they've been popping as well. Hopefully y'all like the visuals and everything else. But thank y'all again for tuning in to episode 32. See you guys in episode 33, y'all. Enjoy the rest of the week.
We love you, Bryce.